Hello YouTube! So this is going to be my first comic book haul video. Um, I've been collecting comics for about, I don't know, since 1990, earlier than that, but on and off. In the past summer I've gotten into the habit of going to flea markets and raiding dollar bins at comic book stores. So this is going to be my success stories from dollar bins at flea markets and dollar bins in the comic book stores. Alright, so let's get started. Not all these are going to be worth a lot. It's just really cool ones that I wanted or ones that I am surprised were in the dollar bin. This falls under the cool category. Marvel Comics presents 117 Venom vs. Wolverine. When this came out, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, well, this is amazing. This cover was just like, I mean, Venom was only fighting Spider-Man at that time. It was only in Amazing Spider-Man comics, maybe a Web of Spider-Man at that point, maybe even fought Ghost Rider, the Spirits of Venom. But this was an early appearance of Venom fighting someone else, and it was a really awesome issue. The art was incredible. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. What else we got? Marvel Fanfare number 1. Surprised to see this is not actually worth anything. What a cool issue to have. And Marvel Fanfare number 2. It looks like a classic appearance of the Man Spider. It's a pretty iconic rendition of it. So maybe the first appearance of Spider-Man as Man Spider. You have to look that up. Hulk number 3 variant. When I brought this up to the counter, the guy at the shop was like, "This shouldn't be in the dollar bin." He ended up giving it to me for the dollar. Since I guess I go there a lot, but he was clearly miffed that he had made a mistake. Maybe someone was looking through comic books and put it in the dollar bin. Who knows? This is a variant of Spectacular Spider-Man 240 Revelations Part 1. Yeah, not worth anything. Cool to have. What else we got? Some early 2000s Spider-Man issues that are difficult to find. 24, 18, and 13. I had these a long time ago when they were coming out, and then I got rid of them all, and now they're hard to find, so I was unhappy about that. I'm glad that I could still find them in dollar bins. You know, I think they're worth more than $1, but it falls into the gray area of the early 2000s, late 90s, where Marvel was going bankrupt and they didn't produce a lot of the comic books they were putting out. You know, there was the bubble burst from the early 90s where people were collecting a lot, and then they were like, oh, this is actually not going to be worth anything, so I'm going to stop collecting. And then the late 2000s, early 90s was when Marvel was trying to, I guess, figure out the new amount of fans that they had, and how much they should produce. And like I said, they were going bankrupt, so they didn't produce a lot. So a lot of those issues are difficult to find now, but you can still find them in dollar bins because not a lot of, unless you're really into collecting, a lot of these old collectors don't realize that they're difficult to find. Anyway, Spider-Woman number 1. Really worthless book, but it was a variant, so I was like, okay, I will get that. A terrible series, terrible story. Really just all around terrible. The only reason I picked it up is because I'm a big Spider-Man fan and it was a variant. New Avengers number 7. Variant, not really worth a lot, but I'm always surprised to see variants in dollar bins. Iron Man 300. This is the enhanced edition. I think there was a newsstand edition. But I just thought it looked cool. It was part of a buy 12 for $5 deal, and I had to fill it up, and I was like, okay, this one looks cool. Spider-Man, or this is Iron Man in his midriff costume, showing off his abs. Really kind of weird. I'm gonna mold some metal abs on my Iron Man suit. That looks cool. Strange 90s. Avengers Celestial Quest #1. Always pleasantly surprised to see a Thanos comic in the dollar bins, and doesn't happen too often, but here you go. Iron Man #1, Starburst variant. Captain America #1, Starburst variant. Not worth a whole lot, but they look awesome. I love those covers, Starburst covers. Like to get most of them if I can. Young Avengers #1 regular edition and #1 variant. Also surprised to see that these are not worth a lot. There's a lot of first appearances in there. Cool to have, regardless. Spider-Man House of M #1 and #1 variant. Spider-Girl #1. I already had it, but it's signed by Pat Olaf, the artist, and Olaf? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyway, it's signed by him. I got it signed at a convention. Doesn't have a certificate, and that always bugs me. With I always feel like I can't really sell a comic that I get signed at a convention without a certificate. So I wanted to get another copy that was unsigned. So I got one. It was $1. Good deal. #2 variant. Don't see this too often. Yeah. Pick that up. Good times. Not worth a lot. Cool to have. Spider-Man Noir #2. I really wanted #1. They only had #2. It's good enough to me. Good enough for me. Ultimate Fallout #4 and second prints. First appearance of Miles Morales. I was shocked to see this in the bin of the vendor who was selling 12 for $5. That seems really cheap for Miles Morales. Poor guy. Hopefully he'll stick around after the Ultimate Universe goes bye-bye, if it indeed does go bye-bye. But you never know. Still, as a Spider-Man fan, love having that. These two I got about 3 months ago. Obviously these, you can't really get these for $1 now. These were in a local comic shop dollar bin with, I guess, new issues that they couldn't sell. So they put it in a dollar bin, and sure enough, I was like, okay, there were rumors about Carol Danvers getting her own movie. I like the character. I like her a lot more now that she's Captain Marvel. I didn't really care for the name or the costume for Miss Marvel. This is the first time she was called Miss Marvel, or called Captain Marvel in the second print, both from the dollar bin. I think they're about $10, $15 on eBay now. First appearance of Agent Coulson in comic book form. I don't think this is picked up really, but still cool to have. X Factor 68. This is a Apocalypse issue. This is the issue where Cyclops sends his son Nathan, better known as Cable, into the future with the Ascani group after Apocalypse infects him. It wasn't easy to find when I was collecting in the 90s, so it's cool to see and get now for cheap. X Factor 15, first appearance of the Horseman. Great copy. Looks dinged up. It wasn't even in plastic. It was like sitting on top. It was at a flea market. It was sitting on top of like sports books, unbagged. So it was clearly not taken care of. But you know, considering how it was placed, it's not too bad. It's got some rounding around the edges. It's got some bumps around the barcode, but overall, not too bad. Second appearance of Deadpool. Back when Deadpool was cool. I know he's hugely popular now. He was probably one of my favorite villains, close to Venom back in the '90s. I searched high and low to collect a lot of his early appearances. I think I got this one when it came out, and a lot of his. And whenever he came out, whenever he was in X Force, I would pick up that issue. I didn't really follow the series, but I always get it when Deadpool was in it, and I love the Circle Chase series. But this is when he was a snarky villain, and I thought that was really awesome. Now he's kind of like a parody of that. He's like a fourth wall breaking slapstick anti-hero, and I don't really care for that too much. Don't care for it. It's kind of annoying now. That's my opinion. First appearance of Husk, Paige Gerther, Cannonball's sister. She was in Generation X, and this wasn't worth anything, even when Generation X was in its heyday. But she's like a C-list mutant. I don't even know if she has her powers anymore. She might not, but yeah, cool live. Maybe she'll come back one day. X-Men Alpha #1. Always good to see this. Had it a long time ago, got rid of it. Wasn't gonna buy it unless it was for $1. Found it for $1. Bought it. End story. This is an oddity one. This isn't like a one I really wanted or one that's worth a lot. It's Kitty Pryde, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. I had no idea this book existed. Apparently it was a series that didn't run for very long, and it's terrible. The art's terrible, the story's terrible. It's just it's an interesting oddity. Glad to have it. Wolverine 145. Wolverine gets his adamantium back. Good stuff. Astonishing X-Men #1. I believe this is the first appearance of Wolverine as Death. It might be in the second issue. I do have all of them. I'm not going to show all of them. I got them all from the same vendor. I think this is going to be significant because I'm going to make a bet that Wolverine is going to be Death in the Apocalypse movie. If you watch Days of Future Past, he doesn't have his adamantium. The timeline was changed. Stryker picks him out of the water, but it's not Stryker, it's Mystique. Mystique likes to play both sides of the equation. Wolverine needs his adamantium back at some point. I think it'd be way more interesting for them to, honor the comic books a bit and have Apocalypse, or have Mystique give him over to Apocalypse, thinking that, I don't know why she would do that, honestly, but, she works in mysterious ways, and Apocalypse would give Wolverine his adamantium back, or give Wolverine adamantium in general, since he hasn't had it at that point, and then make him a Horseman. I think that's totally plausible for how things were set up and how the comic book goes. But yeah. Astonishing X-Men #1. This is a weird one. Dazzler #10. This was part of the 12 for 5 deal. I needed to fill up the extra 12 slot, and I saw this. I was like, okay. I haven't read it. I don't know if it's an imaginary tale, but the cover was just like, what the hell? Dazzler vs. Galactus. If that's real, yeah, that's bizarre. A cool oddity to have. Ultimate Mystery #1, a J. Scott Campbell cover. Those go for a decent amount. This is not a variant, I don't think. And not all J. Scott Campbell covers are worth a lot, but a lot of the Spider-Man ones are. And I saw it. I was gonna pull out my phone and look it up on eBay. But I don't know. It's always cool to have a J. Scott Campbell Spider-Man drawn cover, even though this is not one of his best covers. I don't think the composition's kind of, I don't know. Sometimes J. Scott Campbell's art looks really rushed. Like he's like, oh, another cover. Ugh. I don't know. Putting words in his mouth. Machine Man #2, newsstand edition, first appearance of Arno Stark. the Iron Man of 2020. It's actually coming up quick. It's got some problems with it. Some dark colors up there, some missing colors down there, some nicks and stuff along the side, but yeah, cool to have. Captain Marvel #1 variant edition, poor Genesville. No one cares about him anymore, but so like I said, it's always fun to find a variant in dollar bins or a character that you reasonably care about. Captain Marvel #16, first appearance of the female Captain Marvel that goes on to become Quasar in the Abbott and Lanning Guardians run. Not really worth a lot, but cool to have. Thanos Imperative 6. Like I said, it's always good to see a Thanos issue inside of the dollar bins. I actually don't know if I said that before. I've tried making these videos so many times, and they keep getting interrupted by either phone calls or my phone dying, that it's all becoming a blur. But anyway, it's cool to find Thanos issues in the dollar bin, and Guardians issues and Nova issues. So whenever I see those, I pick them up. And this one's a pretty cool one. Marvel Team Up 141. This one I was really surprised was in there. Not a cheap book. Not a crazy expensive book, but not a cheap one. It's a really good copy too. Nova #1, 90s Nova. 90s Nova with his long hair. Look at me, I got long hair. I'm from the 90s. Yeah. It's not worth anything. But I think it was also in that 12 for $5 deal. Cloak and Dagger #1. A Bronze Age #1 that is not worth anything, but I think it's, you know, Cloak and Dagger are pretty unique characters, and I think have a lot of potential to, haven't realized their full potential, I should say. And I think this could be something at some point. Starbrand #1. Yeah. Starbrand #1. Fantastic Four 48 Ace Edition. I like these Ace Editions. Wish I could have found some. Wish I could have found some Amazing Spider-Man Ace Editions, but this is the only one I saw. Cool to have. Ultimate Fantastic Four #21. First appearance of the Marvel Zombies. Batman Vengeance of Bane #1. The first print. What this was doing in a dollar bin, I don't know. It was at a local comic shop, not a local one, but one that's like a chain here in New England, and they only had like one box of dollar books, and this was one of the books that was in there, and I have a sneaking suspicion that someone thought this was second print, because the second print, the only difference is that it has like a Roman numeral 2. Like right over here next to #1. This clearly does not have it, and that's the only explanation I could think of for why this would be in the dollar bin. It's an excellent looking copy too. I mean, this is a really sexy looking copy. Yep, good stuff. Azrael #100. Poor Azrael. Jean Paul. Love that character. Shame they don't really do a lot with him. Last issue, not easy to find. Hulk 449, first appearance of the Thunderbolts. Hulk #8. Black Panther #1, in the 80s miniseries again. 80s Bronze Age, really nice copy. Surprised to see it wasn't worth a lot, or really worth anything. It's barely worth $1, but it just looks awesome. It was such a good copy, and with Black Panther getting a movie soon, you know, I couldn't pass it up. These two, Black Panther #2 and #3 from God knows what volume. I think 2 is the first appearance of Shuri, even though she's on the cover of #1, which I don't have. So I don't know what's actually considered a first appearance. I mean, if you're on the cover of something, isn't that, doesn't that supersede if, like, you're not in the actual issue? I don't know. Don't know. House of M, #1 limited edition. Worthless. But damn, that's a cool cover. Daredevil, #9, first appearance of Echo. I would bet if she's not in this season of Daredevil coming out on Netflix that she will be in the second season. It's an interesting character, having a blind hero and then a deaf hero, anti-hero. I think she starts out as his villain in this storyline, then goes on to realize that he didn't no, he's not, or she goes on to realize that Daredevil's not the bad guy. But it would be cool to see. Inhumans, #1. Never saw this series before. I thought it might have come before the Paul Jenkins run. It actually comes after, and I don't think it was received quite as well. But yeah, still cool to have. Inhumans, #5. This is the significance of this is that it is the first appearance of Yelena Belova, the second Black Widow. Not really sure why her first appearance was in an Inhumans book, but it is, and I wanted to have it. Saw it in a dollar bin, grabbed it. End of story. Ghost Rider, #1 from 1990. This was I collected a lot in the 90s. This was really hard to find back then. Well, okay, not really hard to find, but it was expensive, especially for like a 10-year-old. So it was really cool to see this in dollar bins now. The ebb and flow of our industry. Alright, let's start going through these a little quicker. What If 49. Good stuff. These are probably my biggest wins of the flea market. Both $1 for these guys. If you collect Amazing Spider-Man, I'm sure you're just as shocked as I was. My eyes lit up, and yeah, that was that. Now that's the reason I go back now, because I want to see that like wow issue again. And this was from the same vendor. What If 108. Also shocked to see that there. These were also from the same vendor. I just don't think this guy knew what he had. Rise of Apocalypse 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 was $1, 2, 3, and 4 were 50 cents each. Same vendor. I'm counting X-Men 377. Cool stuff. Glad the artist didn't put the A over there. Hate that A. Thor God of Thunder 8, first appearance of Thor's granddaughters. Rumored to be one of the candidates for the new Thor. Thor #12, first appearance of Agent Ross of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also rumored to be one of the candidates for the new Thor, although the new Thor has blonde hair, and if they make the new Thor someone that doesn't actually have blonde hair, I'm gonna be a little miffed about that. I mean, what did she put on a wig when she picks up the hammer? Anyway, Thor #1. This is the first appearance of Yarnbjorn, the axe that Thor wields. I believe it's the first appearance. I'm surprised this is not worth anything. Captain America Sentinel of Liberty #9. First time Falcon is in the cap suit. I don't know if anyone just doesn't know about it or what, or maybe like Falcon being captain is just not that big of a deal. But yeah, I picked that up. Pretty interesting. New Avengers #10. First appearance of Thane, not in his inhumaned out mode, but still as a human. But yeah, that's pretty cool. New Avengers number 8, first appearance of most of the Cull Obsidian Black Order. Thanos' lackeys from the Infinity storyline. I think the only one that doesn't have his first appearance in here is Corvus Glaive, whose first appearance is in the Free Comic Book Day Infinity book, which I do have, but I didn't get it for $1, or I didn't get it in the dollar bins. But yeah, it's cool to have. I think they have a lot of potential. They're really cool characters, the ones that have survived. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I think that's about it. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to be making some more of these. I went to the Providence Comic-Con recently this weekend, and I have another haul from that. I don't get a lot of... Let me put something up while I'm talking. I don't get a lot of books per week. Every so often I go to the flea market. It might be a little less now that the winter's coming. And so you won't see a lot of these. Maybe I'll do like a collection one. But anyway, if you watched, thanks for watching. Look forward to more videos from you guys. And yeah, I am out.